Hello everyone, Todiovaral winter pattern is shaping up to heavily favor repeated high-impact snowstorms across vast sections of the United States. And it doesn't stop their destructive ice storms and piercing Arctic cold blasts are also lining up to cause widespread disruption this winter. In this major winter outlook, we're going to break down exactly which regions are destined for relentless snow, who may be left disappointed, and why this winter could go down in the history books. But to fully understand how abnormal and extreme this winter may become, we must first examine what a typical winter looks like in terms of snowfall across the U.S. Let's begin with the regions that usually see little to no snow areas along the Gulf Coast, the Deep South, the Desert Southwest, and much of the Pacific Coast. For snow to reach these areas, we need powerful polar systems that force frigid Canadian air deep into places that rarely experience true winter conditions. When this happens, these regions may see one or two rare snow events every year or two. Next, we shift to areas that normally receive modest snowfall, about 12 to 24 inches each winter. These are highlighted in dark blue and include the Southern Plains, the Mid-South, parts of the Mid-Atlantic, and sections of the Pacific Northwest. While snow isn't a daily occurrence here, most of these areas experience snow nearly every year. However, if you live in the Midwest, the Northern Plains, or the Northeast, snowfall becomes a regular part of life. These regions typically receive 24 to 36 inches of snow per year, and in some seasons, they can easily surpass 48 inches. And then, we reach the elite snow zones, the red-shaded regions such as New England, the Great Lakes, and the Rocky Mountains. These areas routinely pick up over 4 feet of snow every winter, and some individual storms can dump 2 feet or more in a single hit, leading to seasonal totals of 72, even 100 inches. Now that we understand a normal winter baseline, let's explain why this upcoming winter is expected to be dramatically different. This season will be driven by a dominant and highly active polar vortex, which is exactly what fuels above-ridge snowfall across many regions of the United States. Our first major impact zone includes the north-central U.S., the Rockies, parts of the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and much of the Northeast. These regions are expected to be locked in a supply of bitter polar air for extended periods, resulting in a longer winter season and significantly above normal snowfall. Snowfall could total 6 to 12 inches above average, thanks to frequent major snowstorms and even the possibility of powerful nor'easters along the East Coast, but the snow bullseye may form over the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, where snowfall could climb 12 to 24 inches above normal. The convergence of intense cold and abundant moisture will prime these regions for high-impact winter storms, each capable of dropping 18 inches of snow or more. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the western United States, especially areas west of the Sierra Nevada. While these regions typically get occasional snow, this year could bring almost none, creating a snow drought. Even the Sierra Nevada, known for massive snow totals, is forecast to experience a significantly below-average winter, potentially ending up 24 to 36 inches below normal snowfall. Then we arrive at the wildcard zone, the Southern Plains, Deep South, and parts of the Ohio Valley. These regions are highly unpredictable this winter. They could be hit by 1 or 2 intense winter storms, bringing heavy snow and crippling ice, much like we saw last winter. Or we could see a quiet season with only isolated events. Supporting this forecast, the latest European seasonal snowfall model has just been released, giving us our first long-range glimpse of potential snowfall totals from now through May 2026. But snowfall isn't the only threat this winter delivers. Significant ice storms also become far more likely during winters like this. These dangerous systems are capable of coating everything in thick ice, causing power outages, travel shutdowns, and dangerous conditions. We are also tracking dangerous icing threats that are expected to spread across vast portions of the United States this winter. This risk stretches from the Rocky Mountains all the way to the East Coast, where high-impact ice storms could unleash up to half an inch of freezing rain, paralyzing travel, snapping power lines, and causing widespread blackouts. Now, let's shift our attention to the pink-shaded region and area where I anticipate a heightened frequency of ice events this winter. This includes the Ohio Valley portions of the Midwest, such as Chicago and Minneapolis, and extends as far south as Oklahoma and Arkansas. These areas could endure several freezing rain events, and one or two of them may reach major, crippling levels. Next, we have the purple zone, where confidence is highest for significant ice storms. In this region, it is highly likely we will see at least one, if not two, major ice storms, along with additional icing events sprinkled throughout the season. This includes heavily populated states like Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, and Nebraska, where severe travel disruption and infrastructure damage could become a serious problem. But why are we expecting such powerful winter systems capable of dumping enormous snow totals and producing destructive ice? It all comes down to the polar vortex, a term used to describe the mass of frigid Arctic air that shifts southward during the winter months. This year, the polar vortex is expected to intensify, repeatedly diving into the northern plains and the upper Midwest, bringing multiple Arctic outbreaks. These brutal blasts of cold could deliver record-shattering wind chills, once again plunging temperatures to 60 or even 70 degrees below zero in some areas, just like last winter. And while the intensity of Arctic air typically weakens as it moves south, I still expect below-average temperatures to reach as far south as Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia to understand why this winter will be dramatically different from recent years. We must look at the dominant driver of global winter patterns, the ENSO cycle, also known as the El Niño Southern Oscillation. In simple terms, ENSO measures water temperatures in the equatorial Pacific Ocean, which has a massive influence on U.S. winter weather. This season, we are entering an ENSO neutral phase with a tendency toward La Niña conditions. This setup forces the polar jet stream to shift farther south, where it interacts more frequently with the subtropical jet stream. The subtropical jet transports deep Pacific and Gulf moisture, and when that moist air collides with cold Arctic air from the polar jet, it fuels powerful winter storms. Historically, La Niña winters produce more widespread snowfall across the country due to persistent cold air. The last time we saw a similar setup was during the winter of 2013-2014. A winter remembered for relentless ice storms across the central United States, record-breaking cold across the northern plains, well above average snowfall in the Midwest, and Ohio Valley, rare southern snow events across states like Texas, Alabama, and Georgia. Even roads that remain technically open are rapidly deteriorating as rising floodwaters overtake low-lying areas. Travel is becoming increasingly hazardous, and extreme caution is strongly advised. Flood impacts are expected to expand and intensify as this powerful storm system tracks up the East Coast top. Tropical moisture from Priscilla continues to fuel and energize this system, while another disturbance, Raymond, will follow closely behind from Sunday into Monday, prolonging dangerous conditions. Meanwhile, in the Atlantic, tropical storm Jerry is gradually pulling away from the Leeward Islands, and its impacts are steadily diminishing. New, urgent weather alerts. The National Weather Service has issued new emergency alerts for destructive winds and widespread flooding. Wind gusts are expected to exceed 55 miles per hour across many areas, along portions of the Delmarva Peninsula and coastal New Jersey. Isolated gusts could reach 70 miles per hour, strong enough to topple trees, damage structures, and trigger scattered power outages as early as Sunday. Rainfall will be relentless, with 3 to 4 inches likely in coastal regions, 1 to 2 inches inland. Even higher localized totals possible in flood-prone areas. This system is forecast to rapidly intensify from Saturday into Sunday, bringing significant coastal flooding, beach erosion, and extremely hazardous travel conditions. A link for real-time weather alerts, road closures, and flood warnings is provided below it to track conditions where you live and prepare now. This year, we are seeing striking similarities to that pattern, and that is why another blockbuster winter is highly likely. Final thoughts: this winter is shaping up to be one for the history books, a season filled with high-impact snowstorms, dangerous ice, and even severe weather systems embedded in powerful winter fronts. We will be tracking every major storm in real time right here on this channel. With frequent video updates and live storm coverage, make sure you're subscribed. Turn on notifications so you never miss a critical storm update. Watch our new 24/7 live weather camera stream on our second channel. More max velocity monitoring, real-time winter storms, nor'easters, blizzards, and severe weather outbreaks from across America all season long. Click the top link in the description to tune in now and experience the weather like never before. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.